Quilters and adventure lovers, welcome to Clinton, Missouri for the 6th annual Quilt Walk. I'm Cindy, and today we're diving into this cozy festival in the pouring rain and cold. From stunning quilt displays to a trunk show and bed turning, this event is all about creativity and community. So grab your umbrella and let's explore the magic of quilting in the rain. Trust me, you won't want to miss this.
And so all of these alternating blocks are what people are picking up. So it's alternating with these star blocks, and then all these unique block patterns within this quilt are what people are picking up at the different shops.
How many are there?
12. Yes.
So I'm going to 12 different shops.
Yes. And starting with the white flower, you get your pattern. You also get your white flower pattern here. And then, so there's 11 shops around the square. And
do you have to get anything stamped or?
Yes, there's the passport here, and flip it over. You'll see where they stamp it.
Okay. This package of needles was included in the sack that they gave me at White Flowers. Thank you.
Each, or 6 for $5, and the drawing is going to be at Old Glory Days. We have our quilt show.
Okay, that's where I gotta go, over there. Gallery 3. Hello. She designed it for her son? Hi. I am. Wow, this one is cross-stitched. Wow.
She didn't stain it though. I don't know if she did that in 1970.
Candle Company is next. Decided since I only have like 15 minutes left before the bed turning that I'm just going to come down to the museum, and then I'll do the other half after the bed turning.
At the White Flower Quilt Shop is down here on the corner, and with the Quilt Walk, that's your first stop, and you can get a folder there that gets you started with the passport, and you can get around to 11 other stations on the square where they will hand you a pattern for a quilt block, and then the quilt that's hanging on the wall at the White Flower is a finished quilt showing all of those blocks in the quilt, and you get your passport stamped at the different shops.
And as a former school teacher, our speaker today, Judy Wapner, read Little House books to her classes. Now, Mrs. Wild had an excellent description of the 19th century and turn of the century, which corresponded with the social studies curriculum. But it wasn't until after she retired that she started developing this program. What's the name of your program?
Laura Ingalls Wilder, Wisconsin to Missouri. Taught in Carthage, Missouri, called Block by Block. And when I retired from teaching in May, I started working for her in July. So I tell people I was retired for a month. And I started making samples for the shop. And one day a pattern came in called Grandma's Dancing Shoes. And it made me think of a story in Little House in the Big Woods. And that's kind of where all this developed from. So the first quilt is from a book called Not Your Grandmother's Log Cabin. And the title of the pattern was called Cabin by the Lake. So I renamed it Cabin by Pepin Lake because it was in Pepin, Wisconsin that Laura was born in 1867. She was the second child of Charles and Caroline Ingalls. She had an older sister named Mary. This next quilt is called Butter and Eggs. The original pattern was called Grecian Columns, and somewhere in the article was mentioned butter and eggs. So if you were a pioneer woman and you had a flock of chickens and a milk cow and you had more than your family could use, then you might have some to send to town to be bartered for things that you needed. You would, young ladies, if you were a little pioneer girl, you would help Mom by churning the butter. She would clean it and use a paddle like this. It's got little grooves in it, and it would let her milk. Then she would pack it into a butter mold like this one. You see the picture on the bottom? That's how people would identify your butter in town. So these are some of the pictures that the pioneer gentlemen may have carved on their wife's butter mold so that when people came into town, they would recognize who had made it and then they would know which butter they wanted to purchase. The top one is a picture of Laura with her Little House in the Big Woods. There's a picture of Paul playing the fiddle, which the fiddle was a very important part in the Ingalls family, as most pioneer families had any type of musical instrument because that was their entertainment and their family time, and so they loved hearing Paul play the fiddle. Then there's a picture of Ma. She and Laura had gone down and put the cow in the stable, and the cow was standing too close to the fence and she couldn't open the gate, so she reached her hand in to move Suki over. But it wasn't a cow that Ma slapped, it was a bear. This represents the cows in Little House. In Little House in Big Woods, the cow was named Suki. And on the banks of Plum Creek, Pa traded for a cow, and it was from Norwegian settlers, and her name was Reet. And Ma said, we don't need to have a cow with a foreign name, we'll call her Rose, because she had a big red spot on her side. So the roses in this quilt represent those spots on Rose's side. And it was here that his sister, Dosha, came and offered him a job. Her husband was building the new railroad that was going west, and they needed a timekeeper and a pay clerk. So she offered that job to Pa, and he took it, of course. He went with his sister and worked and earned money and sent back for Ma and the girls to buy a train ticket, so they got to have their first train ride to DeSmet, South Dakota, where the train crew was working.
Rain or shine, Clinton's Quilt Walk is a celebration of creativity and community.